Welcome to the first full moon of 2025, and it just so happens to be in Cancer at 23 degrees. This is happening on the 14th of January at 9:26 a.m. if you are from Australia like me. This full moon is also conjunct Mars retrograde that's currently in Cancer. Now with the full moon in Cancer, this is beautiful because the moon loves to be in Cancer. It's its rulership, so it enjoys being here. And it also means that the sun is opposite in Capricorn. They are opposite each other. They're kind of like the oppositions, yin and yang energy. But that energy does work really well together because the Cancer side is like the mum and the Capricorn energy is like dad. So it's the mother-father energy playing out here too, or home and work. We also have Mercury that's in the early degrees of Capricorn as well, so emphasizing a lot more of that Capricornian energy with this full moon. But remember, full moons are a time when everything is illuminated, when things are shining bright and can be seen really accurately. It is a time when things are coming to an end. When cycles have been completed, they're being finished. It's like a book. That chapter is finished, or the whole book is finished. The new moon is the start of something, the full moon is the end of it, at the completion. So definitely think back to the last Cancer new moon a few months ago. It would be about roughly 6 months ago that would have happened. And just think about those themes and what was going on in your life around about then. So it's a great time with this full moon to release anything that you've got around that Cancer house of yours. Have a look in your natal chart and see where Cancer is in your chart. It might mean releasing some emotional baggage. It might mean that we have to heal some past emotional traumas and wounds because we do have Mars retrograde here, bringing up some of those old things from the past. A great therapeutic thing to do would be to just cry and let it all out during this time. With this full moon being conjunct Mars retrograde, it's kind of like crybaby energy, like emotional violence or like angry crying. And I'm so used to doing this because I have my moon in Aries, which is very, very similar. So it's funny because the moon is like that Cancerian energy, but when it's in Aries, it's very fiery and like angry crying, and it's very similar when Mars is in Cancer, very similar energy. Now Cancer in the zodiac is the crab, so the fact that this is conjunct Mars also tells me that we might be getting a little bit emotionally hurt during this time, and we probably will be for the rest of that Mars retrograde. And when that happens, we might retreat, like Cancers retreat into their shell. They've got this big hard shell and that they retreat into it. They also don't really like conflict. If you watch a crab, it goes from side to side to side to side and never goes directly towards things. So a lot of like passive aggression as well with this full moon and Mars retrograde happening at the same time. Definitely be careful of accidents at home around this full moon, especially with that Mars retrograde. And also be careful of doing anything with something sharp or with weapons, because if you're feeling a little bit emotional and you've got something sharp or a weapon, it could lead to an accident. Mars is like blood, it's accidents, it's sharp things, it's weapons. So just be careful. Don't be a crab running around with your little pincers, hurting and biting everybody. What we can do during this full moon is, as I said, emotionally release, let out those tears, have a good cry. Do whatever you need to do to release that energy, because we don't want that to all bottle up inside. So positive ways to release that. A great time to go to the beach. It's a great time to have salt baths. It's also a great time to sit under the moon when this happens and just visually just sit there and release anything that you think is holding you back, any of that energy that's weighing you down, because the moon literally is in its rulership, and the moon literally rules the moon that we see in the sky every full moon and new moon. So it's like it's a great time for us to go out there and just symbolically be under the moon and look at the moon for this full moon. Also, the best things I kind of enjoy to do for a Cancer full moon is like baking or spending some really good quality time with family. Really nurture yourself. Cook some really nutritious, nice, wholesome food. And take time to rest. Remember, Capricorn's like the work energy, the daddy energy. Cancer's the mummy energy, the feminine energy. It's about resting. It's about being at home. So be a homebody. Spend some time at home resting and enjoying the slowness and sitting with your emotions. Nurture yourself. Do your self-care. Nurture the ones around you. Feed them, love them, keep them cozy and happy. For me personally, I'm an Aries rising. Cancer was my 4th house And Mars is my ruling planet, and it's actually in retrograde in this Cancer energy. So I'm really feeling this full moon. And what's been happening for me personally is I've been doing a lot of like home renovations in the garden. We've been fixing up sheds, we've been doing landscaping, moving dirt, using machinery, using weapons, very Mars energy. We've been gardening, planting heaps of fruit and vegetables for our home. So we've got an abundance of vegetables to feed my family. I'm calling in that abundance and making it very natural and amazing. So I really love that. It's been a lot of physical hard labor for me and my husband, because obviously Mars is my ruling planet of my physical body. So I am out there in the sun, in the heat. We've been moving heavy bags of stuff and dirt and really like moving my body. So I've loved it. One final thing before I actually forget with this full moon. Okay, so it's actually, so the sun actually sends a trine to Uranus in Taurus, while the moon and Mars in Cancer actually send a sextile to that Uranus. So that Uranus energy in Taurus is really good too, which makes sense for me for why I'm doing the gardening and growing vegetables to save the cost of fruit and veg for my family. We're really, really enjoying like trying to save money, but also learning how to do these things ourselves, being very savvy. Uranus is doing things differently, being unique, shaking things up, not wanting to go to the supermarket anymore. So just remember, it's okay to feel vulnerable. That's a part of growth. So I really recommend just getting in your feels and, as I said, releasing any of those tears that you need to and letting go of any of that old baggage. Let's just honor this moment, honor this full moon. Let's just be grateful for everything that we have in our life that's amazing. Let me share what I'm grateful for at the moment. I am so grateful for my husband. He's put so much hard work into our landscaping in our backyard and also so much money. I really appreciate him and everything that he's done. But I'm so grateful for so much in my life. My little boy, my job, my family, my home, everything. But the thing I'm the most grateful for at the moment is how hard my husband's been working on our garden. Full moons aren't usually a time for manifesting or planting seeds of intention, but because it's like early 2025 and this is our first full moon, I thought let's just share what we're trying to manifest for this year. What are you trying to manifest for 2025? And how can this Cancer full moon help you towards that? I'm trying to manifest my business growing, so my astrology business, growing my social media channels. I have so many creative projects that I'm going to finish this year. That's what I'm manifesting. I'm going to finish all my creative projects that I've been working on. What are you manifesting? What do you want for 2025? Tell me in the comments below. Let's connect. Happy Cancer full moon.